Bringing home a new puppy can be so exciting, but also kind of a daunting task. I mean, there's so many different foods and toys and information out there about how to train your puppy and how not to train your puppy that often as pet parents we can get lost in the sea of information. I'm Sara Ondrako, a certified dog behavior consultant, and this is my new puppy Vivace. She's a Beauceron and she's 11 weeks old, and I just got her a week ago. So it's the perfect time to talk about the most important thing to do when you first get a new puppy. That is developing that deep connection, that lasting relationship to set your puppy up for success, especially when it comes to training. The more deep you form that bond right off the bat and you focus on the relationship, the easier and easier training will come. So why is building a solid relationship with your dog the most important thing to focus on? Well, it's the cornerstone for dog training and for every other thing that you're gonna do with your puppy and your dog as they grow and develop. The relationship is what makes the training easy. The relationship is what builds that really strong bond that sets the stage for a really well-rounded, happy puppy and happy pet parent. Now, while training and obedience and learning all of the cues is really, really important, the way to get there is by that relationship that you build. Training is really what comes as the byproduct to having that solid relationship with your canine companion. Something to keep in mind is that you can teach any dog of any age basic cues: sit, down, stay, heel. But what you can't do is necessarily at any given moment in time build that connection or that relationship right off the bat. That takes time. So while skills are fast and easy, the hard part is focusing on building that relationship. When your dog trusts you, they want to cooperate with you, and everything else just comes more easily. So instead of you having to always use food to get them to do the things that you want them to do, they willingly participate because they're excited about it. They have that trust in you that you're gonna lead them in the right direction. Having a motivated dog that wants to work with you makes training so much easier. Dogs are social creatures, and domestic dogs are really human-driven. So once you get that relationship going, the motivation always follows. As you're training with your puppy or your new dog, you're bound to come into different obstacles that can be quite challenging, but the more they can look to you for that guidance with that trusting relationship, the easier overcoming those obstacles is gonna be. As I mentioned, I've only had my puppy for about a week now, and the most important thing that I focus on is making that connection and building that relationship so that she's going to want to engage with me, but also that she feels safe and secure when she's out and about having new experiences with me as well. It's building the relationship and showing her that she can trust me that I find the most important. So with that said, I've been focusing on the things that she likes the most. What's driving her? What does she want to play with? What does she want to explore? What does she like to smell? And tapping into those things that she really enjoys and she really likes and giving her access to those things is going to show her that I have her interests in mind as well, and that is going to bring us closer together. So let's talk about some specific ways that you can tap in to build that bond with your puppy. The first one I want to mention that is so important is play. The power of play is a real thing. Puppies just want to have fun, so have fun with them. Now, the other thing to mention about play is don't just toss them a toy. Yes, we want to teach them independent play, but remember, we're looking for that engagement and building that relationship. Play is a way to let your puppy express their natural instincts and inclinations. And we see it in young puppies. As soon as they're able to move around, they're already playing with litter mates and mom and making a game out of absolutely everything. So the way to get in with your puppy is not to pull them out of that game and have them play your game, but to tap into their game and have fun with them. So when you're thinking about how to play with your puppy, first think about what they like. Do they like to tug? Are they super prey motivated? Then we can use squeaky toys that really get them going. What gives them the zoomies? What brings out their excitement and energy? Those are the things that you want to continue with. Some dogs are more specific, so some dogs love to play with balls or frisbees. Just try a plethora of different things and see what your puppy responds to the most. Don't forget about personal play as well. You don't always have to have an object involved. Sometimes you just want to bounce around and exhibit some of those same play behaviors that dogs exhibit to one another when they're in a very playful state. There's a very specific value that comes with play, and with puppies, they value play almost above everything else. Yes, some are food motivated, but play is where it's at. So in thinking about you building the bond with your puppy and your puppy responding to you, remember that you want most of the play to happen with you. So it's okay to play with other people and have fun with other dogs, but keep most of the play and the engagement with you while you're trying to build that bond with your puppy. Regular exercise is vital to a puppy's overall health and wellness. So we know that we need to have activities that promote physical exercise. So how do you choose what kind of physical activities to do with your dog? Because this is also a part of that bond building experience. When you go for a walk, don't think, I'm just gonna go take my puppy for a 30-minute walk. Think about all the things that you can smell along the way. Can you play in the bushes? Can you rustle things around? All of these different experiences that you share together on your walk also help make that connection and build that bond. Another key component to a really strong relationship with your puppy is clear communication. Believe it or not, puppies pick up different signals from us, and we're communicating with them with our body movements, our facial expressions, and even the language that we use because of the sounds that we make. So figuring out and developing that language, that relationship between the two of you, is really the foundation to that clear communication. An example of that would be using the same reinforcer. So if you've taught your puppy that yes means they're gonna get a treat, make sure every time you say yes, you're prepared to give a treat. Being mindful of this is so important because if your puppies are confused by your communication because there's simply too many words, they'll learn to check out and not listen as well. So being very particular and precise in the words that you use and the timing when you use them is critical to making sure that you're clearly communicating with your puppy. Another very, very good way to build that strong relationship and bond with your puppy is to practice confidence boosting games. When your puppy feels good and confident when they're around you, they're gonna wanna engage with you even more. And it's gonna help them feel safe and secure in the event that something in the outside world scares them. And they're gonna look to you for that guidance and that comfort. So when we look at how to build a puppy's confidence, we wanna set things up in ways that they can have little wins and they can feel good by achieving those little wins. So things like getting them to balance on an ottoman or perhaps even climbing some playground equipment and seeing that they actually can do it. Once you celebrate that with them and tell them how great they did and you throw some positive reinforcement their way, they can see that they can win and that boosts their confidence. So teaching your puppy something specific, like how to get up and off of an ottoman and having those little wins that boost their confidence isn't just about that activity in that moment. That actually translates to other activities. Perhaps it's jumping up into a vehicle or up into another object. Those things your puppy can eventually start to generalize, and those wins get easier and easier and easier. Getting a puppy is a lot. There's so many different things to think about, right? But the most important thing is that relationship and that you start building that bond right from the very start. We hope that you found this video helpful. For more advice about dog training or even dog behavior, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, check out the Native Pet blog, and thanks again so much for watching.